Some click. I love counting off my interviews. Sorry, that's really funny.
And hello and welcome back, everyone, to another Full Self Sessions. We are in the house, up in the crib again on a Tuesday night.
It's Tuesday nights.
Yes. Which, shout out to Morgan Powers, Sleeper's Bell, and Shady Cove. Wish we could be at the Hideout tonight, but we're here tonight, and we got Chicago's very own excellent singer-songwriter and most groovy electric mandolin player and owner and the boss over at Your Mom Records, everyone, Molly Compton.
What's up? Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
Yes.
I prefer head mom.
Yes. Head mom.
Excuse me.
Head mom, Molly.
Yeah. How's it going?
It's going. Groovy to have you on. Loved seeing your set way back in the day when you rocked that mandolin.
Yeah. Have you seen it full band yet?
No.
Oh, damn.
So this needs to happen.
Totally different show now.
Yeah, this totally needs to happen.
Yeah. No. Yeah, well, it's
Reed's Local, right? Was that?
No, Burlington Bar.
Burlington. It was Burlington. Shout out to the Burlington.
Shout out Burlington Bar, for real. Shout out Darren Keane, really turning Burlington Bar around, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Not around, but just like bring it into like a totally...
Yeah.
It's more focused.
Totally.
Which I love to see.
Yeah.
Darren's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved seeing your set then and have dove into your music since.
I appreciate
a lot of my buds we enjoy. Shout out to Lou.
Whoa, my guy.
Big fan.
Big fan of Lou.
And yeah, you've been crushing it. You've been busy.
Trying my best.
Killing it. Sicker is a gnarly song, I just got to say right off the bat.
I appreciate that.
Love that throwback. And please don't show my mom this. Please do not.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic rad
I
ripper.
appreciate that. Yeah, no, my mom has the artwork, like the original collage, like hanging on her
Her
kitchen wall.
So awesome. When did she first see the album cover?
I think I sent it to her right when I got it designed. Because it's like I really like that. I really like that cover because it's like the bouquet that it is. Each flower is like for a different like woman in my life.
That's awesome.
That made me. And it's kind of based off of like that Picasso painting with like the like bouquet in the hands, and I feel like the color palette is like still in there. And Madeline Moylan did the design. She's incredible. She did this beautiful like paper and yarn collage, and I was like, can I get like the original of that? And she was like, totally. And so I had it framed and gave it to my mom for Christmas one year. But
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. She has seen the song. Technically. Yeah. I think I don't know. We didn't really talk about it.
You guys didn't listen to it together?
I told her like a billion times. I was like, I have it labeled which one is you do not want, you will not like it. Like, I've labeled which one you will not like. And she just she doesn't have like a streaming service. She like buys stuff like on iTunes, which I love. Which I love that about her. And honestly, she mostly like listens to like the radio, and like she has a record player.
Feel that.
Yeah, but
my parents too. They love the radio.
Yeah, love the radio. Gotta love the radio. But I think she just like bought the whole album and then like just had it on like repeat album, and then it just, it did it. Or it was either that or like she heard it whenever it's like the acoustic version of it at the end of the record.
Gnarly. Love that one.
I think it's so funny. I like it both ways. I think it's fun both ways, obviously. But I remember right after I'd first written it. But all this to say, my mom heard it. She told me she heard it. We did not further discuss. She was like, yeah, you're right. I didn't like it. Yeah. And I was like, I know.
Rock on, Mom.
Classic. But what is funny though is that whenever so like I just put out that song Fat Bitch, right? And whenever we were recording Ripper. I think it's kind of fun. It's a silly little one. It goes out to all the fat bitches. I see you. But when we were recording that one, like, so every year around my birthday, I take the band and we hole up and we go to this little studio in Tolona, Illinois called Earth Analog.
Oh my God.
Oh, do you know, you were familiar?
Insane you just brought that
What
up.
do you mean?
Once again, shout out to the Nar Bros, Narwave.
Yeah.
We do have that third record that we did together. We did at Earth Analog.
I love that. Who recorded it?
Shout out to Hum. Shout out to that space.
Shout out Hum.
Oh my
Shout
gosh.
out Matt Talbot.
Working at that
My man.
was magic.
It's a magical space.
That is so wild. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh. So you guys
like
have recorded at Earth Analog.
every year around my birthday. So
spot.
it's like, so we recorded Fat Bitch in 2023. That was January 2023. And so we hole up for a weekend and we get a couple of songs and we like stay at the apartment above the studio.
I love it.
And then my parents, they're in St. Louis, and so it's
very
kind of,
comfy place. Shout out.
oh, it's so comfy.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful space. If you're ever lucky enough, you should go to the Loose Cobra. Shout out Loose Cobra. But so it's like a nice like meeting spot, and my parents will like come up and then like they'll buy the band dinner or whatever.
Cool.
And we'll have like a nice little barbecue dinner. But they'll listen to the stuff that we got that weekend. Like when they come up, they come to the studio. Excuse me. And Fat Bitch in particular, I remember I was like afraid. I was like, oh God, like I'm gonna have to have this conversation with my mom again. Like I'm just like, you know, I'm an adult. You know, like I love you very much. I totally understand. I know you didn't raise. No one could. You know, and you know, like just like that conversation, which is like totally fair. Like I get it. Like I know. But she heard it and she was like, "It sounds like the Carpenters." And I was like,
yo.
And I was like, honestly, yes. Like
Yes.
you're totally right.
Mom.
And that is where I was pulling from in my brain, like a little bit. You know, it's like because my mom loves the Carpenters and I love the Carpenters. How could you not? Like Karen Carpenter is a goddess.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I just think it's just so funny, just like how different, you know, like my life and my relationship with like art changes all the time, you know, and I feel like that's like such a funny little example of it.
That's so
yeah.
cool.
Very silly.
Blowing my mind, literally. Because
Yeah.
Earth Analog,
Yeah.
small town of Tolano, that's
Tolano.
wild.
Every time I'm like, am I moving to fucking Toledo?
That's so. How many times have you recorded there?
I guess this year was the third.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
Was Please Don't Show My Mom This recorded there?
No, that one was actually recorded at my alma mater.
Okay.
Shout out Millitracks.
Shout out.
Shout out. So in Decatur, Illinois, so about 45 minutes like
Okay.
west.
Okay.
Yeah, on a beautiful, they had just gotten a brand new Neve in there. So gorgeous. And my recording professor and also good pal, Kevin Guarnieri, tracked all of that, which was really cool. Yeah. And it's so special to like be in that space with Talbot too. Just like, you know, I've known him for a really long time and we've been through a lot and just like, I don't know. It's just a special little time that we get. You know?
That's so magical. I
Yeah.
love that. What was the first record you did there, and how did you find out about Earth Analog?
Well, Talbot was my music business professor in college. Yeah, I know. I'm very lucky. Yeah, I know he's a very interesting cat, and very giving of his knowledge, and also just really fun. You know, and he'll play. He likes to play, which is fun. But yeah, so it was. You know, I'd known him since my freshman year of college.
Super cool.
And he stepped down my junior year. So like my senior year, he was back and forth, and we just kind of kept in touch. And then, yeah, like a year or so after lockdown started, I was just like, hey, like, what if I like brought the band down for like a weekend? It'll be it's like my birthday present to myself. And he was like, yeah, sure. Which is funny because he usually like does like kind of longer form projects. But this has just kind of become our little tradition, which is a nice thing. Yeah,
that's so awesome.
This
oh my
time,
gosh, wow.
This last time it kind of dawned on me of just like, oh man, like I've known this dude like 10 years of my life. Like that's weird. and not weird, just like, and so many of the people in that session, you know, it's like I've known these guys for like a decade or more.
Yeah.
And yeah, just
that's so special. What was the last record then that you cut there?
It's not out yet.
Oh.
So Fat Bitch.
Now we're talking.
So Fat Bitch and Shitty Punk Song for the End of the World.
Yeah.
Those were from the first
Bangers.
session.
Both rippers. Fucking, my gosh, dude.
Those were from the first session. Yeah. And Shitty Punk Song for the End of the World, that's Talbot's board mix. That's the scratch vocal. He wouldn't let me redo it.
Oh, that's so
good. It's just
so good, dude.
Which is just like, I feel like very in the spirit of like that song and just like the genre that I'm playing with. And yeah, I don't know.
Fuck yeah. Wow. That's popping. I love that. You got ammo, yo.
Oh my God.
Seriously. Rippers.
What do you mean? Yeah.
And I am like so excited to hear you got stuff already laid out, like coming out.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to really get my shit together, get it all the ducks in the row, make
cool.
it like,
so there's
worthwhile.
no like release date or any like hard.
I have one more that I'm kind of like, okay, I could put out kind of whenever I want. Like,
yeah. If you haven't streamed or shred Fat Bitch, do so now. Do yourself a favor.
It's fun. It's a fun one. It's I was pulling a lot from like the Carpenters, but also just like general like indie stuff that I was listening to at the time.
Heavy.
Yeah, and I really like how that one just ended up sounding. The bass sounds great.
And there's a whole record.
So kind of, I don't know. It's funny. It's just kind of like, it's just like these little pockets. So it's like, you know, it's every kind of year around my birthday, I get like 3 songs, like just like that.
Cool.
Perfect. Okay, done.
Yeah.
And then I come back and I do the background vocals and, and then like, you know, it takes forever to mix. And it's just like, I feel like every time it gets a little bit shorter. Like the transition times between everything, right?
Cool.
Like it's like, so we recorded Fat Bitch in 2023 and I put it out like a month ago, right?
Wow. Okay, so you've been sitting on it.
Yeah, like I've been sitting.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Like I've been sitting, and
Yo, real quick though, how about that stairwell mic?
Oh, we'll get to that.
Now.
Honestly, can I like play you something?
Yeah.
Okay, we can get to that. We'll circle back.
Well, on the roundup, let's.
Yeah, on the roundup. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so it's like those were recorded in 2023. It just came out, and we got back this last time. So we went the weekend after my birthday. It's like Groundhog Day. LOL. I think it's funny. And my grandma's birthday. Oh, shout out grandma.
And grandma.
But we got back and I dropped everything in my kitchen and I took the hard drives to the guy that mixes my stuff and I wasn't yelling, but I was like, I was projecting for like a couple hours. And it was really
rightfully so.
I was so just wired. I was totally wired. And it was just like every time that I've gone, it's felt like, oh, this was what was in my head. And even like from the first time, I'm like, oh, this is like even better than that. Like, you know, like
that's what's
like
up.
This stuff is like even better than Fat Bitch, you know, like, which is crazy to think about.
That is very exciting to hear.
But I love it's a privilege to like have a space like that I like know pretty well and can kind of plan for in that way. And like, I finally, like, this last time was the first time that I'd taken pretty much all of the same personnel, aside from one person, and the person that I brought totally killed it, obviously.
Nice.
Is Bridget from OK Cool.
Really?
She totally slashed it. But like with like a week's notice.
Shout out.
But it's like it's such a privilege to like have a space like that, and to have like Talbot is a master at his craft, and like creates such like a warm level environment for whatever
100%,
you know. And like leaves room for a lot of like experimentation and play, but then also like, you know, it's keeping like us on task, and my band is really good about that too. And just like have a band, like have like these people that are like invested in what I'm doing and thinking about it critically as well, is like such a a major privilege, like that I didn't know I was gonna get. I feel like even like since like college, you know, it's like there's always like, okay, well, we got to find a new drummer and bass player for this gig, and it finally is not that, and so it's like it just makes it easier for me to be like, no, I want this, like rather than being like, whatever you got for me, I'm down, like, you know. It's
That's
cool.
so
it's cool to
awesome.
like get specific in that way.
So wonderful, and I love knowing that little bit of information. It's so cool. Makes your recordings even that much more like, I'm going to listen back now and be like, what mic is that?
I sing through a U89.
It's so cool.
It's like a U87, but slimmer, and it doesn't have that mid boost that you don't need.
Gotcha.
Or that I don't need personally.
Love it. Love your music. I love your tunes, and
Appreciate
love
it.
what you're doing. Definitely just want to ask, like, when for you did you know you wanted to try to make music? Like, when did that moment of like, oh, maybe I will try to write a song come?
Oh, that's funny. It was, so like I went to school for theater to begin with.
Okay.
And so for me, it was just kind of like, oh, I just haven't stopped doing this thing. Like I'd already been like,
We're doing a lot of writing.
yeah, like it was like, oh, like why am I spending all my time in the music building, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you know, I met a boy, and we wrote songs together, and it, you know, like that's how I met half of my current band, right? Like of having that first band, and it's just kind of always been something in my life. Like my mom's a singer, you know, she sang at church like her whole life, and
Super cool.
love that. And then my sister, she went to school for opera. And
Super
so my
cool
whole
as
life
well.
has been kind of like this weird long voice lesson.
I love that you had your family like introduced you to music. That's such an awesome way to be rooted in.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it's just kind of like like when you're so within it in that way, it's hard to get out of it. And when I went to college, I feel like I was kind of like, well, I'm not gonna go to music school because my sister done that or something. It's like,
yeah, for sure.
That it is just so like now it feels like especially silly because it's like we're doing like totally different things.
Yeah,
you know, like in our lives. You know, and you know, she's very disciplined. She's very technical, and she takes excellent care of her instrument. Not that I take like terrible care of my instrument, but you know, like
it's not easy in Chicago.
It's not easy. Speaking of which,
yeah. But that is awesome that you kind of had music around the house. It sounds like a lot growing up, all that singing and stuff. I could see where the thought would be like, let's do something different, theater, you know, focus on
which
like,
is just like no,
totally.
I wanted to do musical theater, right? So it's like this isn't even that. What was I on about? But I did really enjoy like theater. I had always done like community theater and like theater in high school and whatever. So
you started rocking out with a crush at the time, or just some boy at the time?
A boy, yes, yeah. I mean, we were together. We were together for a number of years. But
and that's where you started writing.
I had written a couple of things before then.
So you're
but then it was
at
like,
what point were you like, you know what, theater's cool, but maybe let me try to write a song?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was like I had written songs like throughout like high school and whatever, but then like I went through a breakup or whatever, and I wrote this other song, and I just didn't know if it was good or anything, and this boy was in like the commercial music program, and I was like, well, he'll probably like know if it's like anything, right? Just like get another set of ears on it, and everyone else in my life was just like so far removed from like that, and yeah, so I took it to him, and he was like, oh yeah, we could do X, Y, and Z. And I was like, all right, cool.
So sweet.
So
Heck
yeah. There was.
So that's what started the journey.
Yeah, you. I mean that was. If you dig real hard in SoundCloud, you can probably still find that like first record. It's. What
was your first band name?
True Ver.
You heard it here first.
TROUVEUR.
Yes. Love it.
Because there was another one spelled a different way or whatever. It was just like one of those things.
That's cool.
But yeah, I mean that record, I guess that was like the spring break of my like sophomore year of college. I went on like a class trip to like Nashville and Memphis. And while we were in Nashville, dear man, Mark Rubel, rest in peace. Oh my God. He used to run Milliken's like music business program, but then was at Blackbird Studios down in Nashville.
Okay.
And so we toured Blackbird, which is a gorgeous facility. And he was like, come to this address at 5:30. And I was like, oh, he's going to like take us to get ice cream or whatever.
Cool.
Oh, fuck, right? Yeah. And then we're driving, and I'm like, I really don't know where we're going. And we're like in like the foothills, like right outside of Nashville.
Damn.
I was just like, what are we doing? We pulled up to this.
Starts
like,
to get a little sketch.
Yeah, I was like, I'm a little sketched out. But we pull up to this like tent, and then like there's like a bigger tent behind. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I walk in with the man who presumably owns these tents. His name's Rob McLean. Shout out, Rob.
Right on. Shout out.
And we passed this car, and I was like, oh, a beautiful car. And he was like, it was a lot better before it was stolen. And I was like, okay, got it. And then like we walk past, there's like this big like glass wall on this like other bigger tent. And then there's like a tank, like, and like a small kitchen with like a wood stove. And we walk into like this tank maintenance tent, and there's like a studio, and it's running on like car batteries. And we're like, what? and yeah, I mean, it was just, he described it.
Car battery, that's so badass.
He described it as that, like, he was out doing a DJ gig. Yeah. He came home, his house had burnt down, and he needed to do a session the next day, and he had some stuff in his car, and he had a tent, and he had his dad's backyard.
Yeah. Wow.
And then he did this vocal session that he had booked, and they were like, yeah, we're going to keep that. The stuff from the tent sounds way better. And then he was like, And this man was like Dr. Doolittle-esque, like could tell when there was like another frog in his vicinity. Like I miss him so. But yeah, so I was like, okay, we got to cut the record here. And so we went down for a weekend and cut that whole record. It's totally live. That's you can hear sometimes when there's a storm rolling in, and then the frogs singing and the crickets and whatever.
So cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Wow.
It was cool. Yeah. But yeah, that was the first band.
Love that.
Yeah.
Super cool.
And that was Austin on bass still.
How did you guys meet? You and Austin?
In that band.
That was the first time. What was the first, like, was it, who invited who? Or who was in the band first?
It was like mine and Devin's band.
Oh, okay, and then met.
And then and Devin already knew Austin, and then
right on.
There we were.
So cool.
Yeah, how it goes.
Do they ever play like release music? So like, gotcha. I feel you.
No. When I found out I was in love with Austin, we disbanded. That's how that would go. Got a lot of Fleetwood Mac jokes that day. How fun! but it was a great learning experience. I don't regret any of it.
For sure.
And we got some great songs out of it. So
love that. Love that for you guys and good stuff. That's such a awesome little bit of Molly Compton lore.
Deep
for
lore.
real.
Yeah. They're good songs, except for the one, but you'll know which one.
So down the line, down the road a little bit here, obviously you've been busy, you've been cooking, but when does Your Mom Records come to be?
That was like New Year's Eve of 2021.
Okay.
So
you'd been doing the music stuff, the Molly Compton stuff already.
I moved here in 2018, right after graduation, and I was working for a man named Martin
2018
Atkins.
in Chicago, damn.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Hot time.
I was burning the candle at both ends. So I was.
Let's go.
So I was working as a personal assistant for this guy on the South Side. His name's Martin Atkins. He runs the Museum of Post-Punk and Industrial Music now.
Damn.
It won Best Museum for 2023 in Reader Best of. Shout out. Yeah, he's a crazy man.
Yes.
He's my best friend, and he ruined my life. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's great. He taught me a lot in a very short amount of time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I was working for him, and then I was living above the studio, so I was working from home like way before everyone was working from home.
Dang.
And
pre-2020, the great hiatus, you had a home job. That's so awesome.
Well, because the studio was in the basement, and I was living upstairs. So here I was, and I was working a lot. He has such a great capacity to utilize his time. It's crazy. Sometimes I'm just like, dude, I could probably get that much done, but I don't think I want to. Oh my God. But it's nice to know that you have the capacity to do so if you really need to. And I think it taught me when I really needed to. And just to see how, stuff works at this other echelon. He's very DIY, but he also, has a lot of pro stuff going on. So anyway, I was working a lot and I was living where I was working. So I was having a really weird time, transitioning. So it was if I wasn't working, I was gone. And I would go to a show a night, if not two.
Dang.
Which was just no one should ever do that. Do as I say, not as I do.
For the love, or just for the hell of it?
For the thrill, for the love, for the hey, how's it going? My name's Molly. For the I've just always been that kind of kid on the playground that was hi Molly, want to be my friend?
That's awesome.
So it has been awesome at times. Yeah. Sometimes it's why am I like this? But it's if someone doesn't, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm working on my insecurities. But yeah, I was out and about. Okay. Yeah, and so it was so bizarre whenever lockdown happened. But then
that experience you had, is that kind of when you started thinking possibly of doing your own record label, getting your own music out, distributing it yourself at all?
No, honestly, I Martin has a saying. He says, "Friends don't let friends start record labels."
That's mean.
No, I think it's fun. I think it is kind of true. It's true for some weird reasons. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think for me, at the end of 2021, I just kind of had a bit of a mental breakdown and stepped away from my working with Martin.
Yeah.
And I was working at Ulta, and I was just what the fuck am I doing?
Ulta will do that.
Dude, yeah.
Full on breakdown.
Dude,
all the bells and whistles. Boom.
100%. I mean, yeah. I honestly, yes. You're a lot of marketing. Some truth that you don't know. But you're correct. yeah, but like, so I was just kind of like, and things were like kind of just starting to open back up, and it was at this period where I really loved that, like, everyone was still like kind of on the vibe of like, we take care of us, and so we're gonna wear a mask at a show. Shout out wearing a mask at a show. And so I was starting to kind of like get back into that portion of myself of just like kind of being out and about and like seeing what everyone was doing and seeing how I could help, you know, and but also like I'd been so like working in the industry at a certain level. There's just like it just like there are just these things about capitalism at large, right? That sometimes it's just like, oh, we're just fighting over scraps. And I just was like really tired of that feeling. And I just needed something that I was able to control, for lack of a better word. Like I was just like, I just need some space in this world that is like kind of mine, and that like I can make it how I think the world should be. And yeah, that was just kind of, I didn't expect anyone to be like, yeah, me too, you know?
Damn.
Which has been cool. It's been cool I've met a lot of really
get your
really nice
hands
folks
on it yourself, because fuck having anyone else tell you how to do it.
Well,
honestly,
and just like I don't know. I think that especially with like we were talking about like the hosting the shows and stuff, and it's just like the last one I said, you know, like a lot of people like come up to me during those kinds of things, and they're like, "This is such a cool space that you're creating." And it's like,
that's what's up.
You can too. no. Like it's like I think like I want what like I do and like how I conduct myself at large to become like deeply ordinary. Like I do not think that I'm an exception to the rule. I think that anyone can, like, if someone asks you for help, you can find out how to do that and either do it or be like, I can help you in this way. Love actually, that. You know, like it's just.
And let's be honest, capitalism really kind of fucked the music industry up. And a whole lot more.
Well, yeah. You know, I mean, just industry at large.
Industry at large, for sure.
Yeah.
So
could have gone better. Yeah. Yes. But
for sure. So doing it yourself for real. On the real deal.
Yeah.
What was the like first official day of Your Mom Records?
I say December 30th, 2021. That was when I made the post. And as we know, it isn't real until it's on the internet.
That's awesome.
Right?
Well, I guess that's true.
I remember.
And not so awesome, but
I'm pretty sure I was in the back of my mom's car.
That's awesome.
Like while I was.
That's the place where Your Mom Records like, started.
I'm doing this right now, I guess.
You heard it here first. That's awesome. I love that, Molly. That's so cool. And what was the first artist you released?
The first like actual. Oh, did I bring it? Oh, did I not?
Shout out to the roster.
What's up? So I've been
Loco.
Calico Loco.
Calico Loco, like the cat, right?
Like the cat, Calico Loco.
Danny and Zeke, shout out. They're awesome. Danny was pleasure to meet. I met them once at Olivia's like singer-songwriter meetup.
I love that. Yeah.
So cool.
No, Danny's major sweetheart.
Beautiful
Zeke's
voice.
a major sweetheart.
Yes.
Oh my God, such a beautiful voice. I love how they work. I love getting to see how they work and see how it all builds over time. It's really it's a pleasure. And then A Day Without Love.
Shout out.
Yes. Out in Boston.
Started in Philly?
They were in Philly, yes. They were in Philly to begin with.
How did you get in touch?
Twitter. We were just pals on Twitter.
Oh, yeah?
And one day he was like, can someone pick me up from the airport? And I was like, yeah. And so then we were just pals, and then we were just talking, and then I started the label, and he was like, do you want to help me? And I was like, totally.
Shout out. Shout out to A Day Without Love. Hell yeah.
But the first, like, official release was, I feel like, especially that first year, the label was, like, kind of doing these one-off things for people, which I really enjoyed and I still want to do. But I think that there's kind of like the collaborations that I've done and then like the roster. But yeah, the first like collaboration was this fun little lathe cut. Leche Mallow, shout out. They're now in New York. They're killing it out in New York. They have a beautiful project called Beche.
That was the first?
This was the first one.
That's
they were all
so
hand collaged.
gnarly,
And then so let's see. So that's Leche. And then this was a split with an artist out in the Pacific Northwest, Jeremy Ferrara.
Cool.
And a beautiful label, American Standard Time Records, out in the Pacific Northwest, out in Seattle, I think.
That is such a dope cover too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing this. I love when
these
people
were all,
showcase
These were
stuff.
all totally different, lathe cuts and like totally different collages on the front, which was cool. Leche helped
so
with that. It was
cool.
very sweet. And we had a sweet little time.
The first ever.
Yeah, it was really cool. No,
That's
it was
beautiful.
nice of them to trust me. And this was at a point where I was outsourcing like the record cutting, so I was totally focusing on the sleeves. Which
Back then, who did you contact to get wax? To get vinyl?
well, so these aren't technically here, let's see. These aren't technically vinyl.
Okay.
They're a polycarbonate.
Okay.
I'll talk into the mic. They're like a polycarbonate, so it's like think like a sneeze guard.
Cool.
So they're cut one at a time
Whoa.
in real time
Uh-huh.
on a lathe cutter. They're mono. In their heyday, they'd probably be like prosumer. Yeah. But now they're just few and far between.
That's so wicked.
But yeah, so shout out Pink Squeeze. What's up?
Yes,
Just recorded the
shout
second LP.
out.
Can't wait to hear it. But yeah, so it's like I was outsourcing
And
these.
Pegfest coming up, 420, yo.
20, I forgot. Happy Easter, everyone.
Time to get pegged.
So true. But yeah, these were cut by Precarian
The
Cuts
Easter
out in
Bunny.
Tucson.
Yeah.
Not the Easter Bunny. And then I've since had stuff cut by Funky Frankenstein and
Nice.
Murfreesboro, who totally rule. But I just got one of these machines myself, so I've been cutting them myself as well.
They're so freaking wicked, yo.
Yeah, you'll have to come see the lathe
I
sometime. It's
love
really cool. These are so. Do you know how traditional vinyl is made?
I am not
Would everyone
a
like a
brain
primer
behind that. I
in-
would love to, yes.
So, vinyl production happens in 3 main steps, right? So, there's the mastering, and there's
The mastering for the sounds on the
on the disc.
actual record happens first?
Yes.
Wow.
So the mastering.
I would not think
Sometimes they
that.
call it lacquer cutting.
Uh-huh.
There's a machine called a lathe. It's about the size of this table, a little bit taller. Freestanding, very sophisticated computers and vacuum systems, and like heating systems. And you use a stylus to cut into a lacquer, which is a very thin sheet of metal covered in a varnish. You do that for each side of your record. You take those lacquers, you go to step 2 for electroplating, and you put it into like a nickel bath and then send very slight electric pulses through it. And the nickel gathers, and then you peel that off, and there's an inverse, which is your stamper, basically. There are a lot of variations
how
within
does
that.
that process happen?
You take the lacquer, so it's like this, metal
Okay.
plate,
Okay.
and then you put it into a chemical bath with nickel throughout it, and then you send very slight electric pulses throughout the plate, and then the nickel gathers and creates an
Okay.
inverse of the lacquer, and then you peel that off, and that's your stamper. Basically, there are a lot of variations depending on how many records you're making and what kind of processing and what kind of mastering you did and whatever. But then
Fascinating.
pressing is its whole other. You should, if you can, sometime try to go to Smash Plastic. They have like a really cool.
Yes,
really
shout
cool
out to Chris Lee. I have to absolutely
love Chris Lee.
make it over
Loves
there
her.
and check it out. I would love to.
Yeah,
And
pressing
shout
is
out
its
to Blood
own-
Hype forever.
love Blood Hype, but yeah.
Marina and Chris both
Love them.
homies.
Yeah, so cool. They make incredible stuff. But yeah, pressing is its like own a whole other black magic that I know this much about.
Yes.
But so my first like internship in college was for lacquer cutting.
Okay.
At a studio called Welcome to 1979. And so it's like, so I knew like a bit about like the cutting process. And then, yeah, I found like I found about lathe cuts in like 2018-ish. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then I found Mike Dixon, who refurbishes these machines in Tucson, and bought one from him. And now I've been cutting my own, which is really cool. It's been a cool process, a cool return to form in some ways.
So awesome.
And just like kind of seizing the means of production in a way that I didn't quite realize at the time of it has been cool to play with.
You know what? I had no idea at all you were doing all this. This is absolutely fascinating.
It's
like
still
I
in its,
knew
like,
you
kind
had
of
your
baby
label and you were
stages.
doing your thing, but I did not know this is how you were distributing it and like actually putting it out.
I've
like,
just kind of started. Well, so like so like a couple of we've done some traditional. It's me, me and like our artist and my artist, but like we've done some like traditional vinyl presses. But these are so the lathe that I have, it's mono. It sounds kind of vintagey, but I think that it lends itself to a lot of things.
Love that old radio sound.
Yeah, kind of old radio sound, but not quite. You know, you can get. I'm
good lo-fi,
and
classy,
I'm getting better and better. You know, it's getting there. But yeah, they're cut one at a time in real time. They're much cheaper than a traditional. You know, it's like once you're through like the whole process, like all in, that's like $3,000 probably. Honestly, probably more this year. Who knows? I haven't done a traditional vinyl pressing this year yet. But we'll see. But yeah, no, I love records. I love talking about records.
So groovy.
Yeah.
Love that. Thanks for dropping that knowledge. And
yeah, I've just kind of started doing the cuts for other people. So
have you been to Smash Plastic quite a lot?
Not quite a lot. Whenever we did our first pressing of the Day Without Love record, A Stranger That You've Met Before. Here's the second edition, actually. You can see the DIY die on there,
Beautiful.
which I love. But yeah, when we did our first pressing of this, they had me over.
Yeah.
And they put my name on the marquee thing. It was really sweet, and I cried. I was such a sap. I was.
That's so rad.
It was gorgeous, and they of course did. The best local album of the year by Calico Loco. I Love Myself.
I love that album cover.
I love this cover. Yeah, I love the picture on the back.
Oh my gosh.
My sweet babies. Yeah, Tracy did a great job. But
once again, shout out to Danny and Zeke.
Indeed.
Crush. Well,
I
love it.
I loved getting that hype sticker made. I was like, that's first thing on the list.
Rightfully so.
That's good stuff.
Your Mom Records. It's super solid. Love the roster so far.
I appreciate that.
While we are at it, what else do you have?
Sure, yeah. So, of course, Pink Squeeze, their excellent song, Midday Midnight. We love to see it. And then
2022. 34 of 35.
Yeah. 34, 35. And then we did this one with Daydream Review. They're a really sweet, kind of shoegazy, like bedroom pop kind of band. They're super fun. They moved up to LA. But I like this one because you can see my cat's paw print because I was making these like in my fucking apartment. Which I still
review. I love that.
A relic, Zico Salala.
Cool. Your Mom Records, y'all.
I really like doing these artsy things.
It.
It's tough because it's like now people are coming like to me for the records, and it's like I can't do these kinds of sleeves for like everyone anymore. I
love
because I mean it's like some of these I was like
so good.
Like some of these I'm like almost all of these I'm like writing like the credits on the back. Like I'm just like.
If I go to Record Breakers, Reckless, or around the area, is there any chance at all?
There might be some chance still at Sugar.
Discover Sugar, nice.
I think I'm only cool enough for Sugar because Sugar's
what's up.
Sugar is what's up. Honestly, I love them. Shout out Pat. What's up?
Yes.
Love Pat. They're crazy. They're cool DJs.
Sweet.
But yeah, no, I love Sugar. I think that they've been there for some of my worst mental breakdowns and have not made me feel bad about it, which I really appreciate. But yeah, and then Late Night Laundry. I really liked these because I did like this I found this like foiling pen.
That's gnarly.
So they're kind of like shiny, which I love. And I used the same one here. I was really into it.
You've released a lot. This is so rad.
Thank my mania.
Yes.
And I don't
love
think
that
these
cover.
are all of them. I'm bad at keeping them for myself. But I love this one, Kasha. If you don't know Kasha,
I do
you
not.
should totally look them up. This was the hardest print that I've ever done. This was like 4 colors. It was so hard.
Beautiful. I love that color, that red. Beautiful.
Yeah, Kasha is great. She's kind of soul R&B.
Do you handwrite everything?
I'm trying to stop.
Okay. But this is amazing. This looks so good. And
They're
that stamp.
fun. Yeah, I
when did the stamp icon come? I love that.
Almost immediately.
That's beautiful.
I had started like putting together the branding like probably around like Thanksgiving of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And then Martin does that a lot. He always gets like a stamp made of stuff, and I was like, oh, that's the stamp.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's funny. I hadn't realized, but the designer like she realized that a lot of like the stuff in my mood board had like the kind of like 2 hands like sync thing going on, which I love. But yeah, and then this is one of the first A Day Without Love releases that we did. Yes. It's a ripped up copy of Everything You Need to Know About the Music Business. Wow. Because that shit's bullshit, and it's just about making friends. That was in my head. That's what I thought at the time.
like Darling, shout out to Chicago's rock and roll Darling, had once said on the show, make music with your friends. Have fun making music with your friends. It's true. If you can, you should do it.
You should absolutely do it. Art is for everyone.
Yes.
And you should make it.
It is.
The world will be better.
It brings people together and support local artists, go to shows.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah.
It's
no.
Rock and roll's
Love
real.
Aaron.
And it's
Aaron's doing the music video that I'm putting together right now.
Shout out.
Yeah, I'm stoked. She's so talented.
So talented.
Yeah,
well, Your Mom Records, everyone.
Yeah.
Link below. Check it out.
Yeah.
Thank
Hopefully
you
by the
so
time this
much
comes out,
for
there will be a link
bringing
to
all of those. It's so cool. Love your website too.
It's working on it.
Sweet.
It's under a major revamp right now.
Cool.
So hopefully by the time this comes out, there will be a page for you to be like, I want records made, and then you can tell me what you want made.
Love it.
Hopefully that'd be cool.
Love what you're doing, Molly.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I did also want to say the opening on the stand-up bass on Poison, bringing it back to Molly's music.
That's me. I'm playing the upright.
Whoa!
I know. That's me.
I love that bass line.
So Austin actually, Austin went to school for upright bass, or for bass in general, but is a very talented upright bass player.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've just kind of had the privilege, especially once they moved to the city, like to be around their bass, and then I just get to be like,
yes.
and starting to actually like kind of practice my scales again a little bit, hopefully. But yeah, no, that's me.
That is so groovy. I love that was you.
Yeah,
that's so awesome.
I fooled one of my professors. I sent it to him like after it was done, and he was like, "Oh, that's Austin." I was like, "No, that's me." And he was like, "Oh, but that's Blake on the guitar." And I was like, "No, that's Austin." And he was like, I'm just all mixed up." I was like, it's all good, dude.
That song is gnarly.
I appreciate that. I
think
think Austin sounds great on that one in particular, especially.
For sure.
Yeah, no, they're a great collaborator. One of my faves, obviously.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it all here first, Full Self Sessions number 7. Thanks y'all for tuning in. And this is about the time we will break away, rock out, and then we'll come back for a roundup, y'all.
See you in a bit.
Until then, peace, love, rock and roll. Always.
Always.
Let's go.
All right, this one's called Art. It's about writing a label. Rock sky in my mouth, finding it hard to swallow. I'll get back to you tomorrow, baby. Don't you it's 7 days. Not really, but that's what it feels like. Baby, I think I'm going insane. All I see are stage lights and you turning your back on me. Baby, don't you know it's still making art if it's just for you and Appreciate it. I promise I'm okay. Okay? Please, please, T-bone me. Put me out of my misery. You can swear you never saw me coming. Preserve all your denied ability. Just please, T-bone me. Finally, it won't be because of how I dress or act or walk. Finally, we won't need to find the time to talk. Don't wanna be your conscience. I've never been so clean. Don't wanna be a burden. Trying not to always get so mean. Begging you to do it, just run that last red light. No tearful goodbyes or going down, putting up a fight. I wonder if you still practice, and why I even care. Never needed a brand new table, just needed you to pull up a Please, please, T-bone me. Put me out of my misery. You can swear you never saw me coming. Preserve all your denied ability. Just please, T-bone me. Woo!
Whoa! Banger!
Okay, we're rolling? Great. Just another cut, pending tight, pathetic, brutal, borderline automatic brain ride. Thinking about everything I'm not, I'd never leave you. Unless that's what you fear I do. Pray I forgive me. So maybe someday you can too. Shake me down to expose
let me go. The grass was too tight, baby, I didn't know. If nice enough man, I don't wanna reach for the tonic again. Could say I'm sorry. I know that words don't mean a thing. Make my bed lie. I'm just a fool, nobody's king. Your love has changed me, so I will change me more even still. Pick up, rearrange me. Come out of the dark, I will.
Yo, what is up,
We're
everyone?
back.
We are back on Full Self Sesh number 7.
Number 7.
And we got Molly Compton
What's
up in the
up?
house.
I'm here. What's up?
That was a gnarly set.
I
That was so
appreciate it.
fun. You crushed.
Thank
Loved
you.
that.
I often suspect I crush, but it's nice to have it confirmed.
Yes. For real. What 3 numbers were that? Were those? Was that?
That first one is art.
Art.
And
What
then
is art?
That's it's a great many things. The second one was called T-Bone.
Yes. Loved that one.
I
loved that one.
I really like that one too. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for people to hear the kind of
Yeah.
full production of that because I think it's
So
turning out. I
exciting.
think it's turning out really well. And then the last one was called Brain Rot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's for all the codependent hoes out there.
Shout out.
Yeah,
It's hard out there,
it's
yo.
tough out there
It
in these
is.
streets.
There's a lot of mental gymnastics.
But we're working
and,
on it. We're being mindful. We're figuring it out. Yeah, we're exploring patterns and those that we'd like and those that we don't like. You know, it's just how it goes.
Yeah, for real.
But
Real talk.
But we get to unpin the pin.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about. So Earth Analog has that beautiful live room, and then
Gorgeous,
that fun
massive.
apartment up top.
Yes.
Did you stay in the apartment?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Loved it.
You can't not. And so there's a gorgeous like cedar like stairwell that he always has like a room mic in going like usually for like the drum takes and stuff. But for Brain Rot, that last one, the studio recording is just me in that stairwell with a guitar and singing in the stairwell, which is really it has a very nice little roomy tone. And then
Talking Molly Compton lore and Earth Analog. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And then so it's me in that stairwell, and then my dear bass player, Sweet Dream Libby, Isabel Dreaming. Check her out on streaming services.
Please.
She's an
Link below. We'll throw
excellent
that in
album
there.
called
Yeah.
A is for Ella. Oh my god! But she's on electric with an EBO and like a iso boost. Which it sounds great. I'm
Yo, go
very
off.
very happy with it. So,
Yes. That is so sick.
yeah.
Love that. Where's the an EBO? Like, where's that instrument originate? Or
So an EBO is it's like a little black box that you just put up to the strings of an electric guitar.
that's what's
It, like
up.
reverberates. I don't know the science. That's
what's up.
what I have gathered of what
Yeah.
it is. I was like, I know that sound and I would like that sound. And Dream has access to an EBO, so it was like, cool.
Yes.
We did it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that open room is
Yeah,
so
so
magic. But
fun.
that is so cool.
It's like it has such a different sound than like I feel like a lot of like room verbs like that. You know, they're usually like much flatter, brighter sounds for lack of a better word. or like tile even, which is like
It's
a sound.
When did the title for that song come to you?
Brain rot?
Yeah, brain rot.
I don't know. It's kind of in like the first couple lines or so that I'm like this. It's this XYZ brain rot. It just is what it is. I mean, it's just kind of like I feel like we all kind of know that feeling of like I'm just kind of focusing on the wrong thing and I can't focus on anything else, and I'm just gonna keep doing that. I'm just kind of spiraling a little bit in that way.
For sure.
Yeah.
Whose idea was the stair? Like, whose idea was it, like, to be like, yo, let's go full on with the stair?
Oh, that was me. Yes. That was me. That's one of the luxuries of knowing what space you're going to be doing stuff like that in. Yeah, it's like I can do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Or like the studio recording for art. That one still isn't out, but that one we recorded in 2024.
When's that dropping?
Soon enough. Cool. It is done. It's just kind of a matter of getting my ducks in a row.
Yes,
that's the one that Aaron's going to be doing the music video for, which I'm really excited for.
Shout out once again, Aaron. Shout out to Darling.
Yeah, Aaron and my dear friend Panya. Love Panya. Shout out Panya. But
can you give us a little tease on what the music video maybe?
It's evolving. It is in progress. But I think that like one of the kind of things of like having the luxury of knowing where I'm going to be recording something like that and being able to think that far ahead and like kind of settling into this like space is like for art. Dream like started with this bass line that just like kind of rocked in this way, like rocked back and forth. In this way that I hadn't really like thought about the song rocking, and it made me think of like a train.
For sure.
And Earth Analog is right next to a set of train tracks.
Yes. So magic.
Which is a blessing and a curse. But yeah, I whenever we went to go record that in 2024, I was like, I want us to get some train sounds at this like certain part in the song. And there was a train like clockwork, like every like 30 minutes, it felt like the whole weekend until we were like, okay, we're going to get the train sounds. And so then there's like a door at the corner of the block and then a door like at the bottom of the stairs. And we had mics set up at either door. And Tyler, my drummer, was out in his truck searching, like on the lookout for the train. And we were on a conference call with me and Dream, and we were at either door, and then Talbot's like at the board, and like in between, it was like I swear to God, like another hour before a train went by. And I was just like, whatever. And so we're like
that is commitment.
And so we're like tearing down drums, we're like putting things away, we're doing laundry, we're like, Christ, like, and we were like just about to be like, okay, whatever, like it's not happening, like. And Talbot was like, I'll get one to send to you, like it'll be okay. And I was just like, man, this is so close. And then the train came, and we
at 11:11.
I don't know. I should have marked the time, but it's one of those things I should have done it. And we flung open the doors, and like Talbot press recorded. It was just like I got the rough mixes back that time, and I was listening to them, and I had like this really specific spot in my head where I like wanted the train or something. And then like I was listening, and it just like dawned on me that like, oh, the train is there because of like all of these things, because of when Tyler saw it and when Dream and I heard that it was coming, and we flung the doors open, and Talbot pressed record. It's like, that's magic, right? Like, and it was just, I don't know, it was like we were casting a spell in this weird way, and just like, I don't know,
that's real.
And so I was like, it's never moving, and I think I get a little too like, what we get there is what we get, you know. And
hey,
so
when you
I'm
find
trying
that
to,
works,
but I think I have these like pipe dreams of like AAA stuff, like all analog, chains
for sure,
stuff. Which is just not I don't know. It's very expensive.
I say keep
it's
dreaming.
Very, it's very. I'm gonna
say keep
try.
dreaming.
I have the tapes. So it could happen eventually.
Don't
maybe.
stop.
I'm not. Oh my God, I love The Sopranos. Oh my God, I love The Sopranos. Sorry, totally
We do love
derailing.
The Sopranos here.
I love The Sopranos. I'm writing a country EP about The Sopranos.
Yeah. Shout out to Tony.
Shout out to
R.I.P.,
pray I am not
That's
Tony
one of the
Soprano.
best shows.
Oh God,
oh my gosh.
I pray I'm
We were just
not.
talking about the ending. Me and my family again.
No spoilers.
Always comes up.
It always comes up.
like it?
That's really funny. No, I literally okay. Unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
I still like. It's not
Holly?
like it's not like
The best.
hate. Oh my God, no! It's not like I hate watch Family Guy, but like I've watched like all of Family Guy thus far, and like every once in a while they have like a really good bit.
Yeah.
Right. And so this most recent season, like the first episode, I couldn't even make. I got through like 5 minutes. It was like a spoof of Top Gun, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about Top Gun. Like, who cares? But then like I forget what episode it is, but the one episode, it was like something happened in the studio. He's like, I haven't been this excited since we watched the series finale of Caillou, and then they did like a shot for shot reshoot of the end of The Sopranos, but with Caillou and with like Arthur as like the members only jacket guy, and I was just like, this is so funny. Like why? How did they?
That is
They
amazing.
snuck into my room at night.
Yeah.
And they were like, "This bitch will love this." You know, but it's the only good joke that's happened this season. I
Yeah.
can confirm. I think I give up, but I don't know.
Damn.
I just have a lot of like, I just need like TV going while I'm doing other things sometimes, you know. But anyway,
I love that. Was that a go-to watch during recording sessions? It's always
What?
great because Sopranos is like they got all of it. So it's like you
Well,
can just rip that on,
well,
keep that on the background. Like,
well, right now
It's-
I'm watching it and like taking notes because I'm writing the EP. So it's like I'm like if I'm watching The Sopranos, I'm like really I'm in it right now. Like I have
Cool.
to. I'm waiting. I'm literally. My brain is busted right now. Actually, about this. Like literally, I have this pink Princess Disney TV from my like childhood room,
yo,
and I
that
have it in
thing's
the
gotta be
living-
casting spells.
she
That's ancient.
I think if that thing breaks, I think that's like as like part of me is. I think I'll lose a couple of
Don't,
toes. I don't
yeah.
know. Let's
That
hope
thing's immaculate.
let's hope the day never comes. But so I have this and I have all the Sopranos on DVD, and so like I'll put it in the DVD player and I'll watch it with my notebook, and I'll put my headphones in because it's like right next to Austin's office, and so
Yeah.
it's like I'm not gonna. I look like a freak when I am doing this. like it's for, but it gets me in the zone. It's a beautiful thing. I don't know. I can't.
For sure.
That's a whole other episode. Me talking
Yeah.
about The Sopranos.
Man, it is a great show, and to be honest, I know this might be an unpopular opinion, but it has pulled me out of a few mentee bees here and there. You know, there's is something comforting
I think
about
that's
it, and knowing that
hilarious.
it's cinema, knowing that it is
Right. It's
of the
really-
art.
Yeah, that's really funny. That's really funny. What is it? I don't find it particularly comforting, but I do find it so compelling. And like I don't know, like I think it has helped me to not helped, but I don't know. I think I've just had a couple of moments the last couple of months of just like, Mom, I'm having a friggin' Tony Soprano moment, dude. I'm just like having a mental breakdown or like having a fight with my mom. Like, you know?
Yo.
Like it's just how it goes.
Speaking of mentee bees, though, and someone who has had a good number of them, and shout out to anyone who suffers with
Mental health.
It's real. It is so real.
Be safe.
And
Reach out.
please do. And with that being said, though, like I have noticed and getting the privilege to like talk to people about art and music, it's like that comes up a lot. It's like very much there's something about creation and the creative mind that I really believe any of us can do and tap into.
Art is
but
for
something
everyone.
about that process that is very healing and like
Oh yeah.
something about the creation of music, coming together for it, but also like the writing in itself that is absolutely mends the spirit, you know, and it's a powerful
Yeah.
powerful thing to be creative And I do feel like it could open for people that are suffering, like it very much can be an opening to something that can bring joy and maybe some, not joy, but some middle ground, some clarity, some figuring out the discovering of yourself and outside self.
I mean, for me, it's not even, I'm like I can like intellectually like understand like the healing power of art, etc. But for me, it's just kind of like being able to give myself this space.
Yes.
To like think about whatever it is, even if it isn't necessarily like totally productive or whatever. Like, I think that is deeply important, and I think that is like something that can benefit anyone, no matter what the art form. Like as long as you are getting the space to like think about whatever is troubling you, like whether that be zoning out and like getting really into a craft or whatever, or really deeply engaging it with it in some other form of like writing or something.
For real. So no more frowning on the artists. No.
I think it's super punk to feel your feelings.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
And like with creation itself, with writing, do you have like a method or a process you go about to write, or is it kind of when it comes for you? Kind of a writer you feel?
I'm a relatively good journaler. I keep up relatively with my journal. Shout out to my journal.
Probably got all the good stuff.
Oh God, don't look in there. I used to be much better about just like free writing. Like I used to just like really just notebooks and notebooks.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of getting back into that. I got a little judgmental of myself, which was not helpful. I would not recommend it to those out there in the wild.
Yo, less judgment overall. No more
nice.
fucking judgment.
Or
honestly.
don't read back on it if you're gonna be that way for a second.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
Give it some space. Give yourself some grace. But yeah, I feel like my process with the rest of like once the song is done, my process is much more baked in terms of like I'm just like listening to whatever it is like over and over as much as I can.
Do you get hyper focused?
I get a little hyper focused.
For sure.
And I'm good at setting aside time to kind of like write down the things that I'm like thinking about after I've thought about them for you know however long I need to. And I'm getting better at like I used to think not necessarily that I used to think this all the time or like as hard line as this, but I just like I never really understood the strength of like reference tracks and like reference material at large. And I'm getting better at like leaning into that and
that's cool.
And like making sure that I prioritize that a little bit because it's just a really useful tool to like communicate what I'm going for. So I think some of it is like I just didn't have people that I trusted to listen to me if I did do that. So that I was just like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do that then. But now that I like really have, you know, people that like a band, like,
that's what's up.
That rolls. It's been cool. And especially when they're like, can we get that? And I'm like, oh yeah, totally. Actually, I could totally do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And shout out to journaling. That's awesome
Shout
that you
out
do
journaling.
that. I always bring it up, but the artist way, Julia Campbell, like
Shout out.
Julia Cameron, the artist way. It's so good. And those morning pages just absolutely like once I started doing the stream of conscious morning pages like every day, like I was like really tied me back to journaling like as a kid because I used to journal all the time like growing up. And then once you get in that process of just writing a little bit each day, try it. It's
and I think whenever you will do it is best.
Yeah, for sure. You could tell when people don't journal too. Like you're like
that's really
like,
funny.
There's fucking really energy funny. Comes out in all sorts of ways.
We all have our have our trials.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Molly, fucking love everything you're doing, and thank you so
Appreciate
much
it.
for
Thank you
coming
having me.
through
Yeah.
on the show.
It's nice to chat.
And I love asking as well to the artists that come on, to people out there who may want to get creative or maybe create something, but they haven't yet taken a stab at it, given it a shot. Do you have any suggestions or any tips you'd throw their way?
Don't fear the first draft. That is the number one way to not do anything.
I fucking love that.
Don't fear the first draft.
You heard it here first, yo. Everyone, check out Molly Compton, Your Mom
Cheers.
Records. All links below. And until next time, peace,
Peace.
love, rock and roll, always.